Hello and welcome everyone. This is your host, your mentor, Akash. Now, children, we've discussed an ample lot about nouns and about adjectives. But this time we're going to delve into a different idea, into a different notion. Because, as I told you earlier, when we place words at different positions, they tend to be operational in a different manner. So, here today, the idea is about using nouns as adjectives. Yes, you heard it right. So, we're going to use one family of words and we're going to make them function as a different family of words. So, let's see how it happens. So, in this video, we're going to use nouns as adjectives. Alright, children, so let's pick the idea as to exactly what needs to be done when it comes to making a noun function as an adjective, right? So the idea here is to use two different nouns simultaneously all together, where we will put them into an arrangement where we'll write them and place them in such a way in a sentence that the first appearing noun functions as an adjective, whereas the second appearing noun is itself a noun, right? So let's see how does it happen. So noun functions as an adjective when it precedes another noun that it modifies, right? So as we already know, adjectives are modifiers. They decorate a different noun. Let's go to a few examples here. Now the table has been divided into two columns. The first column gives you nouns as adjectives. So I've exemplified a few examples here, whereas the meaning has been provided to you in the second column. So English teacher, what kind of a teacher are we talking about? We're talking about an English teacher. There might be a history teacher, there might be a mathematics teacher, a physical instructor, can be any sort of a teacher. But it is being exactly spoken about by the word called English. So English here basically and primarily is a noun, but here it serves or it functions as an adjective. Similarly, tennis in the phrase tennis ball is an adjective. So is boat in the phrase called boat race. And similarly, in this water in the arrangement called water bottle is an adjective. Likewise, vegetable is an adjective here, whereas vegetable we all know that it is, of course, a noun. There are so many types of vegetables here. So, strawberry ice cream. Now, ice cream in itself, if I say ice cream, let's not talk about strawberry here, talk about ice cream. What kind of a cream is it? It's an iced cream. So, when I say ice cream, ice again is noun, but here it serves as an adjective. Whereas strawberry is another adjective that has been used here. So, we are here primarily focusing on strawberry. So, strawberry is a noun, but here it is functioning as an adjective. Let's move ahead and understand it a little deeper. Now, let's head forward and let's see what we have. Delineation of nouns as adjectives. Now, delineation simply means exposition or explanation of nouns as adjectives. Let's see what exactly happens and how does it shape up. Now, English teacher. We know that English is primarily a noun, is basically a noun. When you read about English, you are definitely first going to talk about English in the topic or under the topic called nouns. But here I'm using English as an adjective. So it is primarily a noun, it belongs to the family of noun, but here it is serving the purpose of an adjective. Let's move ahead. We've got apple pie. Apple, who doesn't know apple is a noun, right? So an apple, pie. A pie is a noun, it's a common noun. Apple again is a common noun, right? So the word apple is primarily a noun, but it functions as an adjective in the above example. Now, everything that you need to focus on in a slide has been highlighted in black. So, if you want to cut short your learning here, but of course you want to go deep into the learning in a cut short manner, in a simplified manner, in a bridged manner. So, in that case, you should only or you must only look for the highlighted words in black. Let's move ahead. So, with that notion, we develop an idea and we develop a rule. What's a rule? It's a basic responsibility that we need to follow at any condition in order to get to the correct error free resolution of anything at all. That's a rule. So let's see what is rule number 1. Now, when two nouns are used contiguously means one after the other, continuously, right? All these have different usages, utilities when it comes to exactly using these words. So when two nouns are used contiguously, the first noun will always act as an adjective. So that's rule number 1 for us. So every time you think of a common noun, right? So every time you think of a common noun, or let us say think of two common nouns, place them correspondingly with each other, one after the other. So you will find out that the first noun will act as an adjective, whereas the second noun will stand as it is. Here are a few more examples for you. A rabbit hole or a rabbit burrow, right? A pillow cover. Pillow is a noun, rabbit is a noun, cover is a noun, and hole is a noun. But since we've already discussed that the first appearing noun will serve or function as an adjective, therefore, rabbit, pillow, bed, chocolate, tooth, apple, all highlighted in these multicolor uh, tabs are adjectives here, examples of adjectives here, whereas the following noun will serve as a noun. Rule number 2. When a noun is used as an adjective, it is usually used in its singular form, so that we don't get confused when we need to write the plural form of certain nouns. We do not hit the wrong word here. So this is rule number 2 in order to rectify us over there. Let's see what it is. Let's see the examples. A bicycle lane. There is one special lane provided for the cycle riders to travel on. So that's a bicycle lane. A paper boat. What's page? What's paper? Paper is of course a noun. Boat is again a noun. But since paper appears precedingly or before boat, therefore paper serves the purpose of an adjective here. A slideshow. Again, slide becomes an adjective. Jewelry serves the purpose of an adjective. Similarly, clock serves the purpose of an adjective. A keypad. Key, everybody knows what a key is and what keys are when it comes to digital India, right? So a keypad, key again serves the purpose of an adjective, but primarily it belongs to the family of nouns. Let's hit rule number 3. So rule 3, to write the plural of such an arrangement, right, where two nouns are used simultaneously or contiguously and one functions as an adjective. So to write the plural of such an arrangement, the noun is written in its plural form. Now which noun? Because we know that the first word is also a noun, the second is also a noun. But we do understand the difference now, that the first word is an adjective, functions as an adjective rather, whereas the second word will always stand as a noun. So which one should we use in its plural form in order to get to the plural arrangement? It's the second word. That means the second noun, which is functioning as a noun, which remains as a noun. That needs to be written in plural. Now, I've given you a tabular comparison, right? So singular nouns have been given to you in the first column. Plural nouns have been given to you in the second column, whereas every sort of a wrong interpretation has also been written so that we can visibly understand it as well. Now, toothbrush or singular is a singular noun, right? Toothbrush. Plural nouns, I cannot say teeth brush or teeth brushes. I have to use the plural form of the second word that is majorly a noun. So it is tooth brushes. Bed sheet, the correct plural form is bed sheets, not beds sheets, or neither beds sheet. So toy car, toy cars. Doormat, doormats. Wallpaper, wallpapers. Now see, let me give you another perspective of the same. When you use wallpaper, there's a you see a gap in between wall and paper. If you use these two words together without a gap in between, it becomes a compound noun, right? So we've already discussed it earlier in the context of a toothbrush, if you remember, right? And if you don't, you can go back to the highlighted concepts of and about nouns in my previous video. All right, so this is rule number 3. To write the plurals, we have to use the plural of the second or the following word that will function as a noun, and of course it belongs to the family of nouns as well. Alright children, next up we have a tabular comparison of adjectives and nouns versus Nouns as adjectives. Now what exactly it is, let me give you an up view, a bird eye view of this. Now see, we know that there is a family called adjectives. It has got certain words that belong to that family itself, whereas we know that there is another family which has got a certain group of words that belong to nouns itself. So we're going to make a tabular comparison here and understand that adjectives and nouns are different, whereas nouns which are used as adjectives are different. Let's see. Now see, these are regular adjectives. No matter wherever you use them in a sentence, it's gonna turn up to be a regular adjective, or these are gonna turn up to be regular adjectives. Now let's use them. Let's use it in a clause. A clever fox wishes Corona. Now what is vicious? Something that can really do an intense damage to you. It can produce an intense harm. That's called vicious. A good company. A small boat. Handsome income. A weird experience. Now what is weird? Anything that is um, that is swayed from natural. Anything that is unacceptable. Anything that is not welcoming. So it's a weird experience. If I say swift cat, swift means something that is really quick. I'm definitely not talking about the car that Maruti Suzuki has launched years back, right? Okay, let's take down the second comparison here. Now see, nouns as adjectives. What you see in the right table and in the first column of the right table present here are nouns. These are being used as adjectives here, but they belong primarily to the family of nouns. So, office building, an office building. A pancake. What's a pan? A pan is a kind of a utensil which is quite oval sometimes or sometimes round in shape and has a little depth in it to store something. So, that's a pancake. Pan is a noun, cake is a noun. But what kind of a cake are we talking about? A cake that has been baked in a pan. So, pan becomes an adjective. A bird eye view, that means a top down view. Similarly, tooth, brush. We know that tooth is a singular of all the teeth that you have in your jawline, right? Table, cloth. Table is an article. It's a common noun, whereas table here serves the purpose of an adjective. Similarly, a gun, shot, gun, powder, etc. Right? So, adjectives and nouns or nouns and adjectives are different, whereas nouns being used as adjectives is a different story altogether. Now, how to write them? How do you basically make use of them when it comes to writing them? Now, use two nouns. As simple as that. You need to target two simple nouns and you need to place them or put them one after the other, where the first noun forms the adjective. Automatically, it happens, right? Now, 5 here. 5 is an adjective here, whereas 5 is a noun as well. Skin deep. Skin is noun. It is serving the purpose of an adjective here. Ear piercing. Pitch dark. Blood red. Now, in these phrases, the first word for you is serving the purpose of an adjective. And of course, stating it very clearly to you that the first word here primarily, basically, belong. Every first word in every or each of these phrases belong to the family of nouns, but they function as adjectives. So ear piercing, ear is a noun. Next up, another way of how to write it again. Segregate the adjective and the noun using a hyphen. If you need to show the difference between the adjective and the noun, you have to, of course, first use the adjective, then use the noun and place a hyphen, a dash in between. Ear piercing, ill-equipped, red-blooded, hot-headed. Hot-headed simply means someone who is short-tempered, one who gets into a flurry of rage immediately. Up-to-date, pea-green. So these are all examples of how you can write the combination of adjectives and nouns, where particularly both the words are nouns, but the first noun functions as an adjective. So this is how you do it. So children, this is it. It's very easy if you practice. And of course, every concept that has been taught to you until today is to be retained in your brains, so that whenever you want to look into the history of what you have done until today, it should be very clear. It should be a very apparent picture in your life. Only in this way you are learning in a fruitful style. All right. So I thank you all for your presence here and for, of course, your time. Have a happy life. God bless you with good health.